I've got this problem. The number of tablespoons of sea salt needed in a saltwater fish tank varies directly with the number W of gallons in the tank. So I guess it's that many gallons of water will fit in the tank. So what we're trying to figure out now is how can I write a direct variation equation to describe the situation? And how do I know it's a direct variation problem? It says so. Varies directly with. Now, I would be underlining this right now if I was sitting in your place right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Underline those words. Whenever you work a problem with direct variation, you want to underline how they vary, because there actually are other ways to vary besides varying directly. So we underline that, and then we figure out what varies directly. Let's read the problem again. The number of tablespoons of sea salt varies directly with the number of gallons of water. We're using W to represent that. Salt varies directly with water. Now you're going to translate that English into math. Ready to write this down? Varies directly with always translates to equals K. So when I'm working on this part here, write a direct variation equation that relates W and S. I read the problem, and I'm translating it into the math as I write. Salt, and I'm going to use an S to represent salt, varies directly with equals K, the gallons of water, W. So I write a general equation. This is step 1. And you should write down these steps so you have them. Write a general equation with K. Right? I'm using that equation with K. Yep.
So that's like the equation y equals kx.
Yes, this
Y
is just
x.
like y equals kx. Now, I'm not using y or x. I could. There's nothing wrong with using y or x, but I'm using more meaningful letters because it's telling me salt varies directly with water. So using those very meaningful letters, I can think about what I'm talking about. So that was step 1. Now step 2, I'm going to finish reading the question. A pet shop owner recommends adding 100 tablespoons of sea salt to a 20-gallon tank. And this is very typical. Step 2 is use that point they give you. So use the given point to find K. Again, I hope you're writing this down. If I'm writing it down, you want to be writing it down. So how am I going to do that? So I look at S, salt. Did they tell me salt? They did. They said there's 100 tablespoons of salt. So that goes under my salt variable. Equals K. How much water? 20-gallon water tank. 100 equals K times 20. Can I find 20? Yes. How do I find 20? What do I do? Divide. What am I dividing by? Right. Right, you want K by itself. So there's my big old 1. K equals 100 over 20, which is 5. Which leads us to the next step. Step 3. Rewrite that general equation that we found in part 1. This time, substitute the value for K. You found K, so go ahead, substitute. I'm having trouble spelling today. Substitute the value for K that you found. All right, so let's see. K is 5. So step 3 says you've got S equals KW. K is 5. S equals 5W. So there we go. I've got the equation. Very typically what happens next is there another question like this. Well, gee, what if I have a 30-gallon tank? What's it going to be? Well, you take your equation. We do know. Now it's very easy to find out. And especially if you use letters to describe the different variables. So how many tablespoons of salt? So what don't we know? We don't know salt. Should be added to a 30-gallon tank. Where does the 30 go? By the S or the W? Which way does it go?
The W.
By the W. So 5 times 30 is what? So I need 150 tablespoons of salt. They could have said, I've got 500 tablespoons of salt and I want to use it all. How big should my tank be? Well, in that case, you would put the 500 here. And then how big a tank could use all that? Right, divide by the 5. So that would work for a 100-gallon tank. Right? So these are very typical problems. Make sure you've written down the steps. The fourth step would be, use that equation to solve the rest of the question. Use the equation to solve the rest of the problem. Oh, I'm running out of space. There we go. I got it. Okay, so I'm looking at this guy now. This is like an iTunes. Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say iTunes. This is a music internet company that has a number of songs and cost. So if you have 3 songs, it's going to cost you $2.97. 5 songs, $4.95. 7 songs, $6.93. Now here it says, explain why C varies directly with S. So they're asking you to kind of prove that. So the first thing I would do, I would look at varies directly with and put in my equals K. I'd translate this into math away from the English. So C, cost, varies directly with S, the number of songs. And now I want to find out if that's true. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides by S because I want to solve for K. I want to know, how do I figure out K? Because now I've got a table. If it has the same constant of variation for all the points, that means that this is a direct variation. And I'll prove my point here. So I'm going to make my third column C over S. That's my constant of variation. And I need somebody with a calculator. Who's got a calculator?
I have a calculator.
297 divided by 3 because that's C over S. What is it?
Wait, what did you say?
0.99? 0.99. 495 divided by 5. 495 divided by 5.
Oh, I
That's
know
fingers.
495 is.
693 divided by 7.
6.99.
Is this a direct variation? Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, because all points have the same ratio, right? The same constant of variation. So I consider this explained. So that's kind of that question. Then it says write a direct variation equation, is what it should say, that relates S and C. Now we're halfway there. We already figured out this part of it based on C varies directly with S. What's the rest of it? What's the rest of this equation going to be? Sir?
Oh, I was going to say that K equals 0.99.
Yep. K equals 0.99. So what's my equation now?
C
C equals
equals 0.99.
0.99S. You take your general equation, you found K, you plug her right in, that's your general equation. Now they don't have extra questions here, but I'll ask you a question. What if I want to download 10 songs? What's the cost going to be? How would I find it? Yeah, sir?
10 times 0.99.
Right? You look at your equation, and now I have songs. And that's going to be $9.90. So what if you're given a $15 gift card?
Yay.
How many songs can you download? Where would I put the 15? Yep.
You insert 15 when C is for cost.
Yep. So now you know the cost. All right. How do I find how many songs?
You divide by 0.99.
Absolutely. You divide by that 0.99. Calculator friends, what do we get?
Calculated for hands.
Calculator friends, 15 divided by 0.99.
15.
Yeah?
15.15.
Does iTunes or any other music company let you download a fraction of a song?
No.
No. So we're going to go with the 15.
Okay.
So again, this is very useful. It helps us go back and forth between these different kinds of